How's it going today, everyone? This is Michael. Thought today we'd go over the next step in learning how to throw the frisbees. On the first video, kind of just discussed keeping the wrist down. Very important. Wrist needs to be down for every throw. It's the most important thought in the whole process. Got to keep the wrist down. Second, we talked about the grip. A nice power grip. All 4 fingers just tucked under the rim. Thumb. I like it up high, pressing down. And then using your back 3 fingers, pull it into the palm. So it kind of locks it in there. So now that you've got your grip, a nice down grip, it's the release of the disc that we're going to discuss. So the best way to think about it is throwing an upshot. When you're throwing an upshot, you're not running. There's no X step. You're just standing still and you're trying to throw the disc, 150 feet, placement shot. So when you're doing a placement shot, all you're trying to do is go from, in front of you to the release and hit a specific spot. So the whole throw is the snap of the wrist, because you're not doing a, you're not back here because you're only going 150 feet. So the whole throw is from, your left shoulder, to the release. And you're just trying to gauge that. And that's the snap. That's the best way to think of it. Is that little throw that you would do 150 feet is the snap of the wrist. Because you're here and you're just going to try to release the disc nice and soft. Get it to go, like I said, 150 feet. You're just trying to develop this snap right here. So it comes up, snap, snap. So that's all you're trying to concentrate is this. There to there. So take the grip hard as you can from there to there. You could just, right there, right there, right there, and then pull it. But just give yourself, some time. Just practice. It takes time to develop, just being, that speed from doing the wrists. A lot of people, when they pull through, the reason you're not getting any pop, you're not getting the pop on the disc, is because when you're just pulling through, and then you're letting it go, but you're not getting any wrist pop. And that's kind of the primary thing for getting distance. Like I say, if you come through like normal and you don't really pop your wrist, that's why you're not getting any distance. A lot of sports, if you really analyze what the guy's doing, it's always the snap of it's always the wrist. Like tennis players, golfers, when they hit the golf ball, it's the snap of the wrist coming straight on the ball. You're here, you hit the golf ball, but it's the power of the wrist when it snaps forward. It's what drives the golf ball. In tennis, it's the snap of the wrist that serves the ball. So in disc golf, it's still the same thing. It's, you pull through, but it's still the wrist that is generating all the power. I've gotten to the point now where I could stand and throw 300 feet. I could just stand here and just pop it, and I'm 300 pretty easily. So it just takes a lot of time to develop, just that wrist snap. The best way to feel for it is, like I say, just start slow, let the disc move in your hand, just like that. It's that. Think of it as an upshot. Think of it as an upshot that you got to throw as far as you can. Instead of a 150-foot upshot, think of it as a 300-foot upshot. So no movement, you know, you're just here, and then your upshot is there, you know, so right there. And then release it as hard as you can. And after a while, you'll start getting used to that feeling. So what I like to do is take a stance, you know, an athletic stance, where you can shift back and, you know, either forward or backward. Take your disc and just right in front of you. Don't reach back, just from in front, left shoulder. You want to go from here to here as fast as you can. So you want to go from here. I mean, if you want, you can use your legs, you know, to shift weight, but only really you want to make the throw with your arm. You know, don't bring in any other muscles. You know, like if you step, you know, then you're generating power, you know, with your leg. You know, you're pushing in. So we don't want to do that yet. You want to just stay, like I said, nice little, just a turn and throw. Because you want to isolate. What we're trying to do is isolate to where you have to throw with the wrist only, is all we're trying to do here. So you want to take your stance, get a good grip with your front leg. You know, this front foot, you don't want it to turn open. You know, so if you're practicing, you might as well, you know, have a good base. So this foot, just a little open, don't let the toe fall out. Plant it, bend your legs, you know, so your athletic stance, you know, and just kind of reach back from here and then just pull straight through, just as fast as you can to there. So you're here, just as fast as you can to there. Like I said, try not to use any of the body, just arm, all arm. And the thing is once you get the disc out here, you know, since you're isolating to only throw with your wrist, that snap is what you're going to develop. So we're going to try to develop that snap that you have. So it kind of looks like, you know, the back of your hand leads the shot. So if I'm throwing my disc straight at the camera, back of my hand is the throw right there. So if your palm's up, you're going to release the disc wrong. You know, the power is there on the back of the hand. So here, back of the hand is the release. So you want to do is just practice from here and then just pull straight and stop. You know, from here, stop. So lead with this hand and then stop with the wrist. Right there. That's the throw. You're here, pull through and stop right on the line. I want this line right here. So don't let your shoulders open. You know, keep it on the line. So here, stop. Because you gotta, like right at the moment, you gotta remember, we're only trying to develop the wrist pop. We're not developing a follow through. You know, those are for taking photos after you throw. Hey everybody, look. For now, we're just gonna stand and just try to stop right there. No follow through, just right there. And after a while, you'll start getting used to that wrist snapping. So when you're coming through, you know, really think of this wrist popping hard. So when you're practicing, take your stance, a good, you know, squat a little bit, get some balance. Just stand right here and then just turn and throw hard as you can. Start slow, you know, get used to the motion. You know, just sit here at quarter speed. You know, maybe 15 minutes, quarter speed. But always finish going maximum. You want to push yourself to the maximum so you could develop the muscles, so the muscle will learn that it needs to fire faster. You're trying to teach it to go faster. So if you always throw this speed, your body's only going to develop for that speed. So if I want to go faster, I need to tell my body I want to go faster. So you need to practice here, but then always end up as fast as you can. And if it's out of control, that's okay. Because what you're trying to develop is just the speed. And then after a while, you'll dial in your accuracy. So you'll start here and you might be throwing discs all over the field. But that's okay, because that's not what we're practicing. All you're trying to do is develop speed from here to here and popping it. You can see, like when you're throwing, if you take your grip and I start here and I just pop it, you can see how all the fingers release out of it except for your pointer finger and your thumb. And that's really what's holding your disc, that right there. So it's kind of that. You know, your disc is here on the front and then it rotates around. I mean, that's all it's doing is that. So the faster you can go from here to here is what we're trying to develop. So take your grip and then just from the center, you can just shift a little bit, but just kind of from here and then to there. You know, I held on to it because I didn't want to chase it. But as hard as you can, from here to here. Now there's a thing out there that everybody says the disc will rip out of your hand. No, disc doesn't rip out of your hands. You release the disc. When I was learning, it was all about the disc will rip out of your hand. And it doesn't. You release the disc on the line. So when I'm standing here and I want to throw the disc here, that's where I'm going to release it. So the back of my hand leads, and then as soon as it straightens, I'm going to release the disc. Simple. So you're here, just stand here, hard as you can to here. Just like that, just that pop. Pop. And just throw it as hard as you can. And you just practice this over and over. Just stand here, get a good grip. Just reach back to your back shoulder, because like I say, you just want to develop the speed of the arm. So fast as you can go there, right to there. From here to there. And like I say, it's not about what the flight looks like. Keep your foot on the ground. So when I pull through, you know, I don't want this leg moving. I want to be here and there, and that leg, all the pressure of the throw should be just torquing into this side of your foot. It'll push sideways. And when you take your grip, from here, and then hold that leg, don't let it move. Dig it into the ground. See, you want your stance on the palm, the toes. Your stance should be on the toes of the feet. If you come in on the heel, we'll talk about more of that later, but it'll throw you off. So you're on the toes of your feet, bend your legs, get this foot planted. So when you come through, it's locked. That foot should be locked into the ground. Your head should be in front of you. So if you're up here throwing, your head's going to come backwards. You're going to land on your front heel. So for practicing, practice a good, this is how you'll end when you throw, because we're going backwards. So we're working from the release backwards, so you want to practice a good finish. This is your finish that you're also practicing with the snap of the wrist. So when you finish your throw, you should have good pressure on the front legs, knees bent, and then push through with the arm, and that leg should stay. If it opens, then your shoulders open. Now you're throwing the disc over here. So practice good stance, heads in the center. And just as hard as you can from here to there is all we're trying to do. Wrist down should be your thought during this time. Every one of these throws, it should be wrist down. So you take your grip, wrist down, you know, and then just go from here and just as fast as you can. And what you want to think of is just like, you know, you're just trying to push really far on your upshot. You want to go as far as you can on the upshot, and you don't have the ability to run up. So you're just here with the release. So for now, I would just spend a lot of time practicing just that release. Everything's timing in disc golf. When you run up with your X step and you get your step and your release, it's all timing. If any spot of that is off on the timing, you know, you don't get as much power on your throw. So timing is very important. So as I say, take your time, learn this snap, you know, because it's just timing. You know, you want to learn where it hits, you know, where are you going to get it right there, you know. So just start in front and then it hits with your release. But anyways, I just, you know, try to practice that over and over again. Start off easy and then end by just really laying into it as hard as you can. You know, just practice this arm through and stop. You know, from here, stop. You know, shift your, you know, back leg in and stop. And just practice that. And then we'll move on to throwing it, you know, dialing it in. You know, we'll talk about the angles that it's flying, coming out early, grip lock, you know, if it's coming out high or low. You know, reach back. Still a long way to go. But I hope that that's a good start. Because like I said, that's the main part of the throw. I mean, that's everything right there. Is that's, you know, 90% of the throw. Every upshot, every touchy shot is all thrown with your wrist. So the better you could develop that snap, you know, the better it's going to be for you. A lot easier. You know, you'll be able to throw, you know, mid-ranges when everybody else is throwing fairways. So anyways, I hope that helps for this lesson. My name's Michael. I'm out here in Maui. Aloha.